Ladies, thank you so much for joining me this week on our on-course clinic that we had. So unfortunately, I'm not able to get out to the golf course to cover all those exact scenarios, but we're going to talk through situation by situation and just give you maybe one or two things you can take away from that and then maybe work on the range, in the practice facility, on the golf course as well. So we started number 9. We had about 50 yards. We had to cover that bunker, right? We had to carry the bunker onto the green. A weird lie. It was kind of uphill, side hill. Again, the uphill lies are going to make the ball go higher and shorter. So you need to grab more club. So if you normally might hit a 9-iron, we then might need to hit an 8-iron. But what we talked about was, especially when we have these weird lies, it's tougher to make good contact, especially to get our weight to move forward. So that's something I would encourage you to do when you're practicing, is go on side hill lies and just take practice swings working on holding your follow through, making sure you get your weight shift onto your front foot. Even without golf balls, just practicing the motion, getting the weight shift will be very helpful for you when you get in those scenarios. The next thing we covered when we talked about it was the possibility of maybe we don't need to hit this on the green. Maybe if we hit it over to the right of 9 green, we can then hit an easy putt up and possibly 2 putts. So be creative in thinking of, I just don't need to hit this on the green. Maybe I can hit this over to another area that's going to make the next shot easier. The question to ask yourself as you get closer to the hole is, what's the easiest way to get the ball in the hole in 3 shots? Right? That's a great thing to ask yourself once you get inside of about 80 yards. What's the easiest way to get the ball in the hole in 3 shots? It might not always be as straightforward as we think. Next, what we did is we went over to 14. We talked about hitting shots over the bunker and the carry. This is something I think you can work on the range quite a bit, is understanding how far your short clubs carry, your pitching wedge, your 9-iron, your 8-iron. So you can use our distances that we get, you can use the poles out, but pay attention to where the ball is landing as we're hitting these shots. Which leads me to, when you're practicing, the most important thing when you're hitting pitching wedge 9, 8-iron, 7-iron on the range is your contact consistency. We want to work hard on our contact consistency because that's going to help us figure out our carry distances and how far the ball will go and how far it'll carry on the golf course. Very, very helpful. The last thing we did is we just spent a few minutes in the longer rough. We want to understand that if we can set the club down behind the ball and we can see the back of the ball and we can get the club to the back of the ball, it's going to come out much more like a normal type of shot. If I set the club down and there's a lot of grass between the club and my ball, that grass probably didn't grab the club. It's probably going to close the club. It's going to make the ball come out very low. So we need more loft. Think pitching wedge, sand wedge, maybe even 60 degree, depending on how far the shot is away. Also, if the green's a long way away, even though we would want to hit a hybrid, we might not have that ability. We might need to just hit a pitching wedge and get the ball back into play. Okay, so again, take a second, look at the lie, figure out the lie, pick the club appropriate because it's going to give you a much better chance. So one thing I'll leave you all with, gals, is when you practice, the short game facility is fantastic. What I would convince you to do is go find maybe a 30, 40 yard shot and play it like a par 3. Figure out how to try to get the ball in the hole in 3 shots. Even chip it up, even go and putt it. And make little holes at the par 3, at the mini golf range over there. And you're going to have a lot of luck learning how to get the ball in the hole sooner. You can even do a little competition with your friends doing it that way. I think it's a great way to learn how to improve your short game and how to learn how to play goal holes and especially get the ball in the hole in 3 shots inside of 50 yards. Thank you so much for joining me. Look forward to seeing you all very soon out at the golf course.